Right now, on the machine you're watching this video, on the same machine your brokerage accounts live, the same machine you trade on, and the same machine your live positions sit, Windows may be running a whole family of brand new AI features that you never asked for. And one of them is built to take snapshots of your screen and analyze them. Your charts, your account balance, your order tickets. Its background processes running, its background disk activity running, and its background network bandwidth, and its privacy exposure on the one computer in your house where your money actually lives. Today we're going to shut all of it off, and I'm going to show you exactly which switches to flip, because just leaving Windows at its default settings is the wrong answer for a trader. My name's Eddie Z. I've been building and tuning trading computers for over 30 years across more than 20,000 builds. This is a second video in my Winhance series. Winhance is a free tool that debloats and cleans the junk out of Windows. And today we're doing the privacy and security settings, including that whole wall of new AI settings everybody's been asking me about. Now, you do not need the first video in this series to follow this one. But if you want the full slow walkthrough of installing the tool, that's the power video. There's a card on your screen right now that'll take you to that very first video. Now, two pieces of housekeeping before we touch anything, and neither one of these is optional. First is the safety net. Go ahead and click Start and type Restore Point. Then click Create a Restore Point. Hit the Create button and name it something like Before Winhance 2, and then let it finish. Now, anything we do today can be completely undone if for any weird reason something gets hosed up. Second, if you don't have Winhance yet, you download it from one place and one place only. Winhance.net. That's the official site. Use the regular installer, not the PowerShell option. If Windows warned you that the file isn't commonly installed, that's just because it's a smaller independent software tool. Just click Keep. Never grab a debloat tool from a random download site. One more thing you're going to see on every screen, Winhance marks settings with these little badges. The first one, Recommended, is what the tool's developer suggests. The second badge says Default, and that's how Windows ships. And then the third one is Personal Preference, and that means that that setting is your call. And if you see a red badge that says New, that means it's a freshly added setting. And today, that mostly means the AI settings. Keep those in mind, because the tool's recommended is not always what I recommend for a trader. So if you see that recommended badge, listen to this video. Go with what I recommend, not what the developer of Winhance recommends. Not all of them are right for trading. Now, why do these privacy settings matter for performance and not just privacy? Because a lot of what Windows calls telemetry and diagnostics is constant background activity. Your machine is packaging up data and sending it off to Microsoft, and that uses your processor and your network connection, including right at the market open at 9:30 when you rather have every ounce of your computer go to your order entries and your charts. Turning this stuff off frees up resources and it stops the background chatter. And also, by the way, if you want to know how much horsepower your machine actually has before we free some of it up, I built a free CPU benchmark test specifically designed for traders. Takes about 2 minutes, and it tells you exactly how your processor scores against the number a real trading machine needs to be at. Just click that link in the description, run it right after this video. Now, in Winhance, go into the privacy and security screen under optimizations. You're going to see a lot of settings here. Don't get overwhelmed. I promise I'm going to point you at the ones that are safe, the ones that are high value ones. I'm going to walk you through them top to bottom. 3 rules before we start. 1, we do this one section at a time, and when I tell you to leave something alone, just leave it alone. 2, if I don't mention a setting in this video, leave it at its default. You're not missing anything. The stuff I skip either doesn't matter for trading or isn't worth the risk. And 3, Winhance gets updated constantly. So some screens you may see on your computer may look a little different from what you're seeing here. This is how the app looks as of filming this video. The principles hold even when the buttons move. So the very first item you're going to see is user account control level. And I want to stop you right here. The tool might suggest turning this down. For a trading computer, I think it makes sense to leave UAC on. Do not lower it. Leave it on Always Notify. Those pop-ups that come up that say, do you want to allow this app to make changes? They're your last line of defense against something sketchy installing itself on your trading machine where all your money lives. In that same security section, you can safely turn off Windows error reporting and remote assistance. That's background reporting and a remote access feature that you don't need. And if your version shows newer items in here like Smart App Control, Developer Mode, or PowerShell Execution Policy, leave all three exactly as they are. Those are security guardrails, they're not junk. Next down is the content delivery and advertising section. A whole block of stuff that pushes ads, pushes suggestions, and promotional garbage from Windows. A bunch of crap you don't need. Turn all of them off. Write down the entire list. A trading machine doesn't need to be served ads or have surprise apps quietly installing themselves. And just below it, in the lock screen setting, turn off Windows Spotlight and turn off lock screen fun facts. Then the next section we're going to hit is the general section. Go ahead and turn off Let Apps Show Me Personalized Ads by using my advertising ID. And while you're there, we're going to turn off the setting that tracks your app launches to improve start and search. You're going to turn off suggested content in the Settings app, and you're going to turn off the Settings app notifications. All of that is just more Windows tracking noise and nagging that does nothing for you as a trader. After that, you'll pass a speech section and an inking and typing section. Narrator services, speech recognition, the typing dictionary. If you don't use the Windows voice recognition or pen features on this machine, those settings are fine to turn off. If you're not sure, just leave them on default. They're minor either way. I happen to use a program called WhisperFlow for voice recognition, and it does not need this setting on to work. So these settings only apply to the Windows speech recognition settings. Okay, keep scrolling and find the diagnostics and feedback section. This is a telemetry block, and it's the big performance one. Set Send Diagnostic Data to off. There is zero benefit to a trader sending usage data to Microsoft. And turning it off cuts down background CPU and network activity, which is exactly what we're trying to do. In that section also, turn off tailored experiences and turn off Allow Windows to ask you for feedback. Then in the search permissions setting, turn off search history on this device, the search highlights, the cloud content search options, and allow Cortana. Turn them all off. Cortana in particular is a background activity you don't need on a trading computer. And if your version still has an activity history section, turn that off too. The newest versions of Winhance removed it, so don't go hunting for it. Next up is the app permissions section, and this is where a couple of these can bite you. So here's my warning. Do not disable your camera and your microphone system-wide unless you're 100% sure you're never going to do a screen share, you're never going to make a video, you're never going to be on a screen call. You can break those calls without realizing why. So just leave camera and microphone alone unless you know you don't need them. Location services is another one you can turn off safely if you choose to. I happen to leave it on. There is one exception. If you're on a laptop, and you use a program called Find My Device to track it if it's ever lost or stolen, leave location on because Find My Device needs it. The very last item on the screen is the OneDrive automatic backups. And this is one of the biggest ones for traders. OneDrive tries to sync your files to the cloud, and it loves to do its heaviest syncing right when you log in, which is usually right around the open. Turning this off stops that. But and this is important, only do this if you're not actively relying on OneDrive to store important files. If your only copy of something lives in OneDrive, back it up somewhere else first. For most traders like me and you, OneDrive is just a pain in the ass, it's in the way, and getting it off the machine's back is the real performance win. And now, at the very bottom of the screen, we hit the section this whole video exists for. Right after app permissions, you'll find 3 back-to-back groups where every single setting wears that red badge that says New on it. This is where all the AI lives. The first group is Windows AI, and on the current version of Winhance, it's more than 20 toggles. You've got the whole Copilot family. Windows Copilot itself, the Copilot hardware key, the Copilot runtime, Copilot availability, Copilot nudges, and even Copilot's microphone access. You've got Recall, and notice Recall gets 2 switches, one that enables it and one that lets it save snapshots of your screen. There's a click to do AI data analysis, a batch of AI agent settings, the settings agent, the agent connectors, agent workspaces, remote connectors, Bing chat eligibility, generative AI access, input insights, AI consumer content, and the whole Paint AI family. I probably didn't have to read them all off. Let's not forget image creator, co-creator, generative fill, generative erase, and remove background. Here is the simple answer. Let me answer this question straight, because just leave them at default is the wrong answer for a trader. Do not leave all of these red badge AI items on default. Default means Microsoft's brand new AI features are running, indexing, and phoning home in the background. And Recall in particular is built to constantly take snapshots of your screen and analyze them. On the machine where your trading accounts live and your live positions live, that background CPU, background disk activity, background network activity, and privacy exposure that you don't want. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna turn them all off. All of them, straight down the list. You're a trader. You're not painting pictures with AI on this machine. Kill the whole block. It frees up so many resources, and it gets Recall screen scraping off of your income machine, which for me is the biggest deal. Now there's one exception in that list, because I promise you safe over sorry. There's a toggle called System AI Models Access. And Winhance itself warns you right on that setting that turning it off will break the snipping tool's text extraction features. That's the one that lets you copy text straight out of a screenshot. If you happen to use that feature in the snipping tool, leave the toggle on. If you've never used it, just turn it off with the rest. Either way, it's one toggle. Read the label, make the call. All right, the second group is the Microsoft Edge AI. About a dozen toggles for the Copilot baked into the Edge browser. The sidebar, Copilot reading contents of the pages you visit, AI history search, inline AI compose, AI generated themes, sharing your browsing history. Same answer from before, just turn it all off. Even if you use Edge to browse, you don't need an AI assistant reading your pages and burning resources in the background. And if you don't use Edge at all, it's pure dead weight. Off. Straight down the list, just switch them all off. The third group is the Microsoft Office AI. If you've got Office installed, you'll see the Copilot switches for Word, Excel, and OneNote plus Office AI trading. That one controls whether Office collects AI training data from your usage. Here's my take. If you actually use Office to run your trading business, you journal in Excel, you do your taxes, whatever, leave the Office apps themselves installed, but turn off the Copilot AI toggles. That Copilot AI inside Office runs in the background, it checks in with Microsoft servers, and it adds overhead you're paying for with your resources. You don't need AI writing in your trade journal. If you don't have Office on the machine, you may not see this section at all. That's fine. So it might not even be there. So to keep this as simple as possible, on all three of those AI groups, Windows AI, Microsoft Edge AI, and Microsoft Office AI, the rule for a trader is simple. Everything with that red new badge in the AI groups gets turned off, with that one snipping tool exception if you use it. This page is one of the biggest resource wins in the whole tool, because these AI features are the newest and the hungriest background processes Microsoft has ever shipped. And Recall's constant screen snapshots are the last thing you want running while you've got money on the line. And remember, if turning off any of this ever causes you a problem, you've got that restore point. So flip them off with confidence. And by the way, one thing people ask me all the time, will turning all of this off break other AI tools that I actually use all the time, like Claude or ChatGPT, or the AI inside of your trading platform? The answer is absolutely no. These are separate programs and they don't run on Microsoft's AI plumbing. We're only shutting off what Microsoft baked into Windows itself. Now here is my critical warning list for this section. There are settings in the privacy area that a trader should absolutely not touch because they can break your ability to trade. Do not lower user account control. I already told you, leave those pop-ups on. Do not disable anything related to networking, your network adapters, or your Wi-Fi and your Ethernet. If you see toggles that mess with network protocols or network stack, just leave them alone. Your data feed lives on that connection. Breaking it means no quotes, and that's the whole ballgame. Do not disable Windows Defender or your security services. Some deep loop guides turn off Windows security to squeeze out performance. On the machine you log into your brokerage account, your trading accounts, and your bank, You want to keep the security on. That tiny performance gain is not worth the risk. Just leave it running. Do not touch anything you don't recognize that mentions drivers, audio drivers, graphics drivers, or your account sign-in. If you're not sure what a setting does, and I didn't mention it in this video, just skip it. The safe move is always to leave the unknown ones alone. You're here to remove the obvious junk, not gut the operating system. All right, once you flip the safe privacy toggles I just walked you through, let's stop. Reboot the computer, open your trading platforms, confirm that they open, they connect, and your charts and your data feeds are live. Log in and click around like it's a normal trading session. This is a section most likely to reveal a problem if something got disabled that shouldn't have, so test it thoroughly. If your platform connects no problem and your quotes are streaming in, you're golden. If anything is off, just roll back to the restore point. No harm done. Before you go, if you want to understand what actually makes a trading computer fast in the first place, how much RAM your platform really needs, what processor to look for, why an expensive machine can still freeze on you, grab my free complete guide to trading computers, click the link that's in the description, or scan that QR code that's on your screen right now. This is the same information I'd walk a customer through on the phone before they spend a dime. All right, if you need to recap, I'm not going to just recap all those settings. Just start back at the beginning of the video and walk through all the settings again. In the next video, we're going to finish the job with the sneakiest screen in the whole tool, the settings that quietly delay every order packet you send, and the Windows Update behavior that can reboot your machine in the middle of your trading session. Do me a favor, slam the subscribe button so you catch it the day I drop it. My name is Eddie Z. Thanks for watching. May the trend be with you.